What's good everyone, it's Steve from Sneaker Tech Talk, back with another video today. For today's video, we will be taking a look at the Kobe 9 High Elite Performance Review. So without further ado, let's take a look at the shoes. Alright, this one I was very excited to do because I haven't played in Kobe 9s in a very long time. And I didn't think I'd get these at retail, but I did pick these up over All-Star Weekend in San Francisco from the homie Marvin MJO23Dan. Did pass these over to me for the retail price point, so that was awesome. And I've had some time now to get these on court. I've spent around 5.5 or 6 hours in these. I'm going to play in these a ton more, but I did want to get my initial thoughts and just performance review of this shoe out because it's a lot of the same from back in the day, and that's a good thing. So as always, starting with the traction pattern at the bottom, it is kind of a heat map of the human foot, as you can see right here with the toes and kind of the ball of your foot right here. And you kind of have these lines running throughout. Now, how this performs on clean and or dirty floors is awesome. This grips the floor amazing. Lateral, linear movements, you will be good to go. Now, the only thing that I've heard some people deal with is the durability of these lines kind of tearing off as time goes on. So time will tell. I will update you guys if that happens to me. But in my initial, 5.5 or 6 hours of playing in these are awesome. They squeak pretty loud and they just come to a dead stop. They do collect a little bit of dust. I really wipe these down before I am recording this video because my last session I was playing on a really dirty floor. But honestly, if you give them a quick wipe, you will be good to go. I don't think I would bring these outdoors as these grooves are kind of shallow and pretty soft. I think this would wear away very quickly outdoors, but indoors, basically on any court condition, as long as you're wiping, you'll be good to go. And that's why the Kobe 9 Elite traction pattern is going to score a very solid 9.5 out of 10. As far as the cushioning goes within this model, it is a little bit different from the originals. Now, the originals did have a Lunarlon drop-in midsole. This Protro version of this shoe, which is a performance retro, does have a different foam compound, and you are getting React, as you can see right here. So underfoot, you're getting a decent amount of comfort. As far as at the back of the shoe, you get a decent amount of kind of like bounce under the heel. The forefoot is very close to the ground, so you're not going to get a ton of cushioning. You're more so going to get court feel, as you can see how thin it is right here. That's not a terrible thing because I do enjoy having a very nimble shoe, but as I'm aging in my 30s here, I do prefer some really nice cushioning. It would have been nice if they did kind of core out the bottom of this and slap a full-length Zoom Air unit here or Zoom Strobel at the bottom stitched to the Strobel board underneath the drop-in midsole. They didn't do that. They opted to kind of keep it closer to the originals. And that's my biggest issue with this shoe is it's a performance retro. I think they should have, for the price point, especially at 240 USD, I believe these go for, they should have updated the cushioning to be better because a lot of the other aspects of this shoe are still very viable around 10 years later. But for me, this is one of the bigger letdowns. It's not terrible. I do enjoy this setup, but I know after about 15 to 20 hours of use, this cushioning setup is going to bottom out and become a lot more dead underfoot. But for smaller players or players that are guards or just a little bit more nimble, I think you will enjoy the React drop-in midsole. But for me, these are going to score a decent 7 out of 10. It's really nothing special. It's more or less similar to the Nike Kobe 8 Protro. So if you liked those, I'm sure you'll like these as well. Last thing I want to mention about this drop-in midsole is it does have these kind of little grippies running throughout the heel to the forefoot, so your foot doesn't slide around at the top of this drop-in midsole. But sound off in the comments what you guys think of the cushioning. For me, it's decent. It's just nothing special. As far as the fit goes, now Kobe's Protro line is kind of all over the board. So the first Protro I did get was the Kobe 1 Protro. I was a size 11 in those. I could not wear a 10.5 if I wanted to. My toe was smashing through the end of that shoe. The Kobe 4 Protros, I'm a size 10.5. The 5s, I'm an 11. The 6s, I'm an 11. The 8s, I'm an 11. And these, I didn't really have a choice because Marvin had these in a 10.5. And I'm like, you know what? I'll grab them. If they don't fit, I'll pass them on to someone else for retail. And you know what? They fit. My toe is right near the end of the shoe right here. It's a very much a one-to-one fitting basketball shoe, minus the fact that there is a bit of height here in the toe box. It's not terrible, but that is one thing I did notice as far as the fit goes. But their line is just all over the place as far as the Protro series, as far as sizing goes, in my opinion. This is a pretty narrow fitting basketball shoe, as you can see right here. So if you are a wide footer, I would recommend going up half a size and or just trying these on if that's even possible. I know in the States, these are sitting compared to here in Canada. In Canada, these are selling out like instantly online. You can't even sniff a pair if you wanted to. But for me, the fit was really nice. It was very secure. Obviously, the height of the shoe is kind of like a boxing boot. It's very high and just kind of crazy. This was after he tore his Achilles. As you can see, the stitch marks right here. But for me, I enjoyed the fit of this shoe. It was very secure. You know, you have these fly wire strands running through the eyelets that do run down into the Strobel board. So for me, I did really like the fit of the shoe. I just wish the height of the toe box was a little bit shorter, so there wasn't so much room at the top of my toes. But overall, I did enjoy these, and that's why they're going to score a pretty decent 8.5 out of 10. As far as materials go, you're getting more or less the exact same thing that we got back in the day with the OGs with this Protro right here. So at the back of the shoe, you do have this kind of elasticity, kind of knit material that runs down the back of the shoe. And then you kind of have this patent leather-esque material at the back of the shoe, running down to the heel counter. And then everything else is kind of like this fly knit material. As you can see, this is the multicolored fly knit. It is pretty scratchy. It does have some glue kind of infused within this upper right here. So it does take a little bit of time to break in. They were pretty kind of raw in hand and on foot when I initially put these on, but they do break in pretty nicely, and I did enjoy my time with this material. The one thing I will say is this upper right here, in my opinion, is not very breathable. You're going to get most of your breathability with this kind of Nike Pro Combat tongue where there's all these perforations. And then at the top of the tongue, you kind of have some more of that patent leather-esque iridescent material. But sound off in the comments what you guys think of the materials. I actually really enjoyed these on foot as far as performance goes. I just wish this Flyknit wasn't so plasticky kind of in hand. That's the only downfall as far as this material goes, but overall these are enjoyable on foot and on court. So for me, the materials are going to get a very nice 9 out of 10. Now, as far as the support goes, for me, this is a very supportive basketball shoe, and it has nothing to do with the height of the shoe. That's just a placebo effect for some people that kind of like their ankles really tied up tight and having something wrapped around them. That's all that is. The support of this shoe does have a very rigid heel counter with this internal TPU heel counter right here, which is very rigid and locks your foot in at the back of the shoe. Moving your way down from that, you also have this TPU external heel counter with this carbon fiber plate right here on the lateral side, another smaller one right here, and then on the medial side, you have another carbon fiber plate right here. So on any hard lateral cuts, coupled with this rubber outsole right here that wraps up near your pinky toe and your foot seated housed within this drop-in midsole right here, you are not going anywhere within this shoe as far as lateral containment, at least from my experience. You also have these fly wire strands that run through the eyelets right here on both sides of the shoe. So for me, this is a very supportive basketball shoe. You also have a pretty wide and stable base here in the forefoot and the heel. And then as far as the torsional rigidity, at the midfoot, they are pretty rigid. In the forefoot, you do get some nice flex, so they're not overly stiff at the front of the shoe, but just where you want them. So in my experience, this was a very enjoyable, supportive basketball shoe. Now, I do prefer the low tops for the Kobe 9 Elites. I don't really care for the height of the shoe. I did lace them up to the top eyelet and really crank the laces down, and you just feel so secure within this model. You're really not going anywhere at all. So that is something that's very enjoyable, but the overall structure of this shoe with the support system is superb in my opinion, and that's why these are going to score a very solid 9 out of 10. As far as the weight goes on this model right here, the Kobe 9 Elite Protro right here, again, this is a US size 10.5, and they come in at 16.15 ounces. Obviously with the low tops, they are a little bit lighter because they do chop the top off, but all things considered, this is on the heavier side for basketball shoes nowadays. So coming in at 16.1 ounces, the Kobe 9 High Elite isn't overly light in my opinion. So that's going to do it for today's performance review on the Kobe 9 Elite in the high variety for the Pro. So that's going to do it for today's performance review on the Kobe 9 High Elite Protros. Yes, that is a mouthful as far as the name of the shoe. This is the Masterpiece colorway, designed by Eric Avar back in the day, around 10 years ago now. I do really enjoy this shoe. It's something that I'm going to keep in my bag for the next couple months for sure. And I just really enjoyed kind of revisiting this shoe. The biggest letdown for me is the cushioning. I wish they would have put full-length Zoom Strobel coupled with that drop-in midsole. That would have made this shoe just over the top. I would have paid an extra $10 or $20 to have that. So Nike, if you're listening, add some full-length Zoom Strobel to his future models, because us hoopers just love that setup. So again, sound off in the comments. Did you guys pick these up? Did you pass? Again, the retail price point being $240 USD, $310 here in Canada. It is very steep for a performance basketball shoe, but again, nostalgia gets the best of us sometimes. Overall, this is a gorgeous hoop shoe, and I just enjoy revisiting Kobe's shoes because back in the day, that's more or less really what I hooped in. I hooped in all of his shoes throughout high school and junior high, even back to the Adidas The Kobe, the one designed by the Audi TT. So I've been hooping in Kobe's for about 20 to 25 years, and I'm enjoying them still here today in 2025. But also keep it locked to my channel, as I'm going to be doing a comparison with the Kobe 9 Elite versus the 6s, the 8s. I have some 5s coming in, the Year of the Snake in the red ones. So keep it locked to my channel as I'll do some comparisons between all of his shoes and what I prefer compared to all of his Protros thus far. But as always, if you guys could like, comment, and subscribe, that would definitely help the channel a ton. And check out my Instagram over at Sneaker Tech Talk, as it is an extension of my YouTube channel with all my pickups, basketball footage, and nostalgia as a whole. As always, thanks for watching today's video, and until next time, peace.